Hey guys, it's Toasty Fresh and I'm back with another collections update video, the second or third one of May, and it's going to be covering the PS2 games I was talking about in the last video, and I've got quite a few, so I'm going to go ahead and show the first two, and I'm going over them in the order that I got them, I think. And the first two were from a local charity shop, and it's where I got the two. I got Call of Duty World at War, and I got Black Ops as well from the same charity shop, both for £1 each. And I also got two PS2 games that I didn't have, and one of them was Call of Duty 3, which again is complete. So, you know, there's a lot of people not got a lot of love now for the Call of Duty series, but for £1 I thought, well, might as well give it a good go, and it's more of the original games that were in the World War II kind of historical battles and stuff still then. So I'll probably give that one a good look over. And the other game I got was another long running series, and that's Need for Speed Carbon, which was the last one for the PlayStation 2, and this was another one of those games that was a crossing between consoles. It was in between the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 2, and it's meant to be a pretty poor game in all accounts due to it having a lot better version on the PS3, so it was pretty much pointless. If you had the PS3, you might as well go out and buy it for the PS3, and I don't think there was much of a difference in price as well with it being a new release. So like they said, that's why it could have been really pretty much a pointless game. But I don't know, and seeing as that I've only got it for £1, it's really quite worth it, and it has instruction booklets and everything, even a catalogue as well, an official EA catalogue, which has got all the games from around that year, like Sims 2, Need for Speed Carbon, obviously Sims 2, all their little add-ons, Superman the video game, Tiger Woods FIFA 07, and a lot more sports games, cricket and Madden and things like that. So that's what I got from the charity shop. And also in the last video I showed the bunch of PS1 games that are all there, like G-Police and Colin McRae and Railroad Tycoon and Driver. And I paid £10 for those, but I also said that I got, well, I said two on the video, two PlayStation 2 games, but actually I got three. I got an interesting one, not my absolute favourite series. I've never been, even though I had them, I've never been a great fan of the like survival horror type games with that kind of gameplay as the Silent Hill and Resident Evil, but I got myself the Silent Hill collection for the PS2, which is the one I jumped in and got, as I thought it's very interesting. It's Silent Hill 2, 3 and 4, the fourth game, all in a neat package, and I thought I'd have to pick that one up just to get them and to have it, and I thought it's an interesting thing. You don't see those kind of collections all the time, and I've got the Prince of Persia one, and now I've got the Silent Hill one, so that's pretty cool. And like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Silent Hill and Resident Evil, but I did own Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation 1, but purely on reputation, and I did play them, and I did like them, and you know, they are classic games, but it's just not my, you know, genre really. And another famous franchise now, and that's God of War, and I got myself God of War 2 in that pack. So for £10 I got the 4 or 5 or whatever it was, 6 PlayStation 1 games. I got the Silent Hill collection, I got God of War 2, which is complete as well. It's got the instruction booklet, and I just remembered the only bad thing about this is there is a game missing though from it, and that's why he knocked down the price that I was going to pay him. It's got Silent Hill 3 and 4, I think it is. yes, but there's no Silent Hill 2, so that's the bit of a bummer about that one. I just remembered that. But he knocked down the price for me. I meant to pay him £15 for all those games, but he just said, oh, you can have them for a tenner, which God of War is £3.50 on Entertainment Exchange when I looked. And another game that I really wanted to get my hands on, and I've been looking for a while, but all the copies I'd seen in Entertainment Exchange had very funky covers, and I wanted to get a really good copy of it, and then I finally have done now. And that is, actually I got a lot of love for Konami at the moment, because I'm playing through Suikoden at the minute, and I've got another few games like that, and now I've got Age of Empires, Age of Kings, which they're involved in as well, and that's fully boxed and everything. Everything's included in that, and it's in really good nick as well, so that's what I'm really happy about that. That's, again, it sells for about, I think, £3.50 if you want to get it from Entertainment Exchange. But I have really good memories of this game, playing through this with my eldest brother. He went out and bought it because he liked the strategy games, and just going through all the different campaigns and things like that. Like, you start off the tutorials, you're going through the story of William Wallace and his rebellion against the English. So it's cool, and you've got all different kind of historical things like Joan of Arc and Genghis Khan, and all different historical figures that you've got to go through their stories. And then there's a kind of sandbox levels you can do where you just go and do what you want, a bit like World of Warcraft, not World of Warcraft, Warcraft 2 for the PS1, that kind of the same. You had a big campaign, but you could also have sandbox games as well. And just have really good memories of this, and I'd never owned it myself before. It was only my brother who owned it. My mate did have my best friend, when he got a PC, he ended up getting it for the PC with the I forgot what it's called now. There's an expansion pack that was there, the Conquistadors and the Mayans and things like that. But I forgot what it was actually called. It was something like that, Conquest or something. I can't really remember, but it was a really good game, and a really good strategy game for the PS2. So I'm really glad I got a hold of that one. That's probably going to be game of the video. And then while I was doing that, I'd ordered, in the midst of finding that, because that was on a Facebook page, and I just saw a guy selling a PlayStation 2, and he was willing to split the big package. He had like 68 games or something like that. I didn't want to buy most of them. I wasn't too bothered about, but there were the few that caught my eye that I really wanted. But I also got a couple of games from Entertainment Exchange online, and you saw the Xbox games, but I got myself quite a few PlayStation 2 games as well, mainly PlayStation 2 games to be honest. And I'll go over the ones that are at least, well, two of them actually I got from Entertainment Exchange, the store, my local store, just yesterday. But I'm just going to go over the games that I got online first. And the first one, it was Smash Court Tennis Pro Tournament, the first one. There was a second one released, and that was Anna Kournikova ended up being featured on that in this series as well a lot, before she went out of tennis. And everything's included in that. There's even like another PlayStation little catalogue there from Namco, and that's advertising MotoGP 2. I don't know how you pronounce that. Klonoa, is it? I don't know. 2. I know the platforming game, but I've never played it. Ace Combat, Distant Thunder. There's Time Crisis 2. Played that loads at the arcades, and I played it on the PlayStation 2 as well. Vampire Knight, I remember playing that as well. And this is the original MotoGP, Tekken Tag on Platinum, the G-Con 2, and Tekken 4 right at the back. So that's an interesting little thing. It's meant to be quite a good tennis game as well, apparently. My brother's got the second one, and he said it's actually pretty good for the price you can pick it up for. Like, I picked that up for 10p, and you know, for 10p, and it's actually mint condition as well. It's really good condition, not a mark on the outside of it or anything like that. and it's probably going to be working. I haven't actually tried this one yet, but for 10p, I mean, it could be horrendous and it'd probably be worth 10p. And also I got another strategy game, because there weren't as many, I don't think, for the PlayStation 2 as for maybe the PlayStation 1, which had quite a few groups of really good ones. And that's the one I've got this time is Commandos 2, Men of Courage. And that's kind of like a strategy game. It's more like Syndicate, I think, where you start off with a set group of people and you just got to go through doing missions, and they've all got the different skills and things like that. I remember looking at it and wanting to play it, but I never actually saw it around and didn't end up forking out the money for it. Like I said, back in the day I didn't have loads of money. It was spending money that I gathered together and things like that that paid for games. And that was only 30p, and again in mint condition, and with the instruction booklet and everything. I thought that's an amazing find for that price, and I'll probably enjoy it because I do like my strategy games, so I'll get to see how good that series actually is. I got myself the obligatory first person shooter, and that's Cold Winter, where you play the usual agent, say, going working for an agency stopping terrorists, and it's got the instruction booklet and everything, so a little bit, you know, I think it's meant to be pretty good, to be honest. It's not meant to be too bad, kind of like Project Snowblind. Now, not, you know, anything amazing to blow your socks off and revolutionise the gaming industry, but pretty solid shooter if you don't mind shooters. Moving on to bits of different ones, I got myself Ghost Hunter for £1, and I don't know whether I actually bought this when I were in a shop, when I went into the local shop, I think, maybe, for that one. The only bad thing is it's got a sticker on there which I'm a bit frightened to get take off on the instruction booklet. That means that this has spent some time on the pre-owned shelf game as well. But it's finally found a home with me, and that's Ghost Hunter, basically hunting down various ghosts. I think you start off as a cop, and then later you just get hooked into hunting down ghosts and all other kinds of things like that. And it is meant to be quite good, actually. It's like a third person kind of one. Maybe more in the style of the latter Resident Evils. It's kind of like a survival horror, but action. Maybe kind of like what I'm imagining this to be more like is The Suffering, maybe kind of like that kind of game, but ghosts. Well, then again, that was ghosts, but you know what I mean. Also, I got an oldish game now. I picked up Victorious Boxers for 50p, and that's kind of like a Japanese. I don't know whether it's from a manga or not, but it could be. But that looks very retro at the beginning. Looks kind of like Punch Out, like a modern Punch Out at the front of it. And I've actually played this, and it's not that bad, to be honest. It was a bit strange when you start out because you got to change the controls, because the controls at first to go forward, it's you press it up, which when you usually play boxing games, it's left to right, it's to go towards and away from your opponent. So that kind of threw me for a loop at the first, until I realised, oh right, that's what's going on. But you do training and things like that, and there's a little campaign mode, a little story mode, but it's a good little kind of manga style boxing game, really. So something a little bit different from just playing the usual boxing simulations. And it's not actually all that bad, to be honest. And I also picked up Evergrace, and that was the dearest one actually, the lot, £1.50. And it's not got the instruction booklet though, sadly. But it's getting a game that I think is getting increasingly rarer to get hold of. And I remember it not having the best reviews, so I think that's why I left it alone on its release. Because back then I was watching the pennies, so I'd listen more closely to games reviews and things like that. Nowadays I kind of make my own mind up about games. But yeah, but someone actually told me this isn't actually that bad. But I do know that Crave and Ubisoft are involved in this. They're involved in Jade Cocoon, and they made a lot of games that were underrated but were quite good role-playing games, so that made me much more inclined to believe people back when they said that this isn't all that bad actually. So I'll have to try it. I also got a game that I remember playing the demo to and being intrigued by, but I never wanted to fork out the full whack for it, and that was Sky Odyssey, and I think that again cost me 50p, and it's kind of like it's not got an instruction booklet, which is a shame, but it's kind of like a lovely, serene kind of, just a flying simulator basically, with a little bit of a story about finding a lost tower on this island involved in it, but you just kind of do flying missions. You do training missions to learn how to fly with this lovely Lara Croft-esque woman giving you the briefing, but it's pretty good to be honest. It's not really about much, but it's not that bad to play. It's kind of like a nice chill out game to be honest, just to enjoy flying and playing around. And the two other games that I got online were kind of down to the reputation that I've heard from them, and the first one is Primal, which is meant to be a great adventure game and with a decent, actually non-stereotypical female lead as well, and it's got the instruction booklet as well that looks pretty neat as well, in the style of like a book, and it's also got something else in there. I think it's an advertisement for the oh, it's for a music CD, something to do with the game. You could order a music CD to go along with it. So it's pretty interesting how everything's still in. I love that when you get stuff like when you get catalogues still in there and things like that, where you can see what kind of games came out around the same time as that game from the same producers or publishers. That's pretty cool. But that's meant to be a really good game, a really good kind of puzzle, kind of 3D adventure game. So I'm definitely going to be trying that. And for only £1, well worth adding to my collection. And the other one, it's an absolute classic. Well, apparently, I'm not going to say it with all authority because I've never played it, but a lot of people rate this in their all times, and that's Beyond Good and Evil. I finally got hold of it for £2, which is not too bad. And I looked out as well because I got it with the instruction booklet and everything in that one. Sometimes you don't get quite so lucky with Entertainment Exchange, sometimes like you've seen with a few of those games, instruction booklets haven't been included. But that is meant to be a really good game, and most of you, anyone who knows anything about gaming will know about this game already. Again, kind of like a stealth kind of game where you play the part of a reporter covering some kind of alien invasion. But again, I've never played it, and it's taking down a corrupt regime, but it's meant to be really good, really endearing characters. And again, another strong female character, also, you know, very pro-female in this video. And I got two more today that I might as well add on there as well. I got God of War 2 to go with having God of War, because I got it in that bunch of games. I thought, well, I might as well get it. The only downside, there's no instruction booklet with that. But I've still got the second one, and I did rent for a while from Love Film. I rented the collection on the PS3, so I have played through these games, but not all the way through. I only played from so long. The one that I played the most has been the Ghost of Sparta for the PSP. I played pretty much to near the end of that, but didn't actually completed it. But I got pretty damn far. I forgot what I got stuck on now. I got stuck at some part of it. I can't remember now. But that's another one that's pretty self-explanatory, kind of beat and just kill everything that moves basically, and with a few puzzles chucked in, playing an invincible Greek maniac. But pretty cool. And last but not least, I got Shadow of Memories, and again Konami. That's why I said there's a bit of Konami love in this video. And it's kind of an adventure game. You're trying to avert your own demise, which has actually happened. It's a guy, you play a guy who's met his death, but he gets brought back and told how to avoid his fate, basically. So it's kind of like a mystery. I don't even know how to categorise this game, to be honest. A mystery adventure, thriller, I don't know. Because I don't think it's actually out and out, you couldn't say that it's a survival, it's a horror, but it's kind of like, maybe Shenmue, I don't know, you know, they're kind of just a story driven game, I think. I don't know how actually good it is. I think I've heard a few people saying it's okay, a few people maybe so-so. So I'll have to go and see. That cost me £2.50 though to find out, which is breaking the bank for me in my usual tightwad ways. But that's all I picked up, and I might be picking some more up tomorrow when I go over to a different town, as my girlfriend visits some of her family, and I know it's more near to where I grew up, so, and I know there's a second-hand market stall in the town there, so I'll be hitting him up and seeing what he's got for me, and maybe doing another video just before the end of May, or maybe save it till June, that one, and show you what, if anything, that I got off that guy. But I've known him a long time. He's been there for years and years, ever since I was growing up in primary school, high school. He's been there, so maybe I will get some decent games from him, maybe a little bit of leeway if he remembers who I am. But that's all I got time for on this video. Thanks for watching, anybody who does. But that's all I've got time for, and I'm out of here.